Yo, what is up? Tiger 1 buffed in 1.10 update. I am actually using the turbocharger in equipment 2.0. It gives me 7.5% to engine power, 4 kilometers an hour forward speed, and 2 kilometers an hour in reverse speed. Now, of course, the entire line of the heavy tanks, starting from the VKH in tier 6, has been buffed. The VKH, the Tiger 1, the Tiger 2, the E75, and the E100 all been buffed. I made a video 2 weeks ago on the Tiger 2, the new buff Tiger 2, and out of all the German tanks, my favorite was the Tiger 2, and I will go into a little bit more details later in the video. In the Tiger 2 video, I did use a different kind of equipment as opposed to the turbocharger. I used a hardener instead, and what it does, it gives me more HP, gives me more durability, but you can totally use a turbocharger in the Tiger 2 if you wanted to, and you would still get great results. The Tiger 2 is a complete beast, and I will leave a link to that video right here to the top right of that video. Just click on it and you can watch it later, put it in your queue or whatever. But let's get back to the Tiger 1. We're going to cover it today. It's been around since it launched, right? 10 years, the Tiger 1. A lot of people played World of Tanks because of the Tiger 1, and so did I. But the problem is it was let down by the lackluster performance. In fact, I sold it after I finished grinding it. If you played this game for an X number of years, if you're an experienced player, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean when I say the Tiger. The Tiger tank is just a tank that nobody is afraid of, right? When you see one, you don't think you gotta be careful or anything, In fact, when you see one, immediately you think, like, I'm gonna farm this tank, right? I want to fight this tank. It's gonna be free damage for me, right? It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be difficult to kill, right? Even if you were in like a tier 6 Cromwell or a T-34-85, you want to take on the Tiger because it's just so easy to kill. But if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing, turning on this notification, and giving this video a like. This is the best way you can help support my channel, and let me thank you in advance. Let's get back to the story. Like I said, the Tiger 1 buffed. What is the difference? The difference is what you see on the right. The reload time improved from 7.48. Sorry, not improved. Worse. The old reload was 6.42. They nerfed the reload a little bit by 1 second, but you get a bigger damage. Now you get 280 damage per shot. Instead of 240 in the past. Also, your HE round, if it pans, does 370 damage as opposed to 295 in the past. The aim time also improved. It was 2 seconds, 2.59 seconds. Now it's 2.40 seconds, and you see me already racking up 2,400 plus damage in under 3.5 minutes. Now my team is collapsing around me. I can't help my team out. I'm just doing my best here to carry my team, but you can see them doing stupid shit and dying all around me. The guys that were around me, they crested this hill and got themselves tracked and killed. When I say that people are not afraid of Tiger, you can see what I mean here. All of them are just rushing me. They don't care who I am. They don't care what tank I'm driving in. They're just going to trade their HP happily just to get a little bit of damage from me. I'm trying to angle as much as I can to try and bounce as much as I can. In fact, I've already bounced 780, but look at that. Nobody's afraid of you when you're in a Tiger, and you use this to your advantage because they don't respect you, they don't give a F about you. You're gonna try and do as much damage as you can before you go down, and I did go down in the end with 3,753 damage, 884 spotting damage. I blocked 780. I still got an Ace Tanker out of this loss, but my entire team collapsed, and I'm not in control of that. What can I do about that, right? But let's go to the next game and let me show you what else this Tiger can do. Now, we are going to be playing in Malinovka from the western side, and we're going to try and make it up to the hill, and this is where the turbocharger is going to be useful. Like I said, in my Tiger 2 video that I made a couple of weeks ago, I didn't use the turbocharger, instead I used the hardener. But in retrospect, if I were to go back and play the Tiger 2 again, I think I would play the Tiger 2 with the turbocharger instead of the hardener. So I use the turbocharger, I use a rammer, and I probably use optics on the Tiger 2. Now you notice that neither the Tiger 1 or the Tiger 2 that I'm playing, I did not use any vertical stabilizers. Now if you didn't know, the Tiger 2 dispersion is 0.30. If you ran food with it, it's 0.28 in the Tiger 2. That is incredibly amazing. The gun is extremely good, so you don't really need to run a vertical stabilizer in the Tiger 2. However, if you look at the dispersion on the Tiger 1 here, it's 0.33 dispersion. The moving dispersion is actually not good, so firing on the move is not very good, but the turret dispersion 0.12 is pretty good. So if you are rotating your turret and shooting at someone, the accuracy is actually not too bad. But the stock dispersion 0.33 means the accuracy isn't that great, and you're gonna see me shoot the dirt a couple of times. You're gonna see me miss my shots. You're gonna see me shoot in the air a couple of times because of this 0.33 dispersion, and because I'm not running any vertical stabilizers. Instead, I'm running food, which brings my dispersion down to 0.30. Now 0.30 dispersion is not bad at all. If you compare that with any kind of Russian tanks, it is actually not too bad dispersion at all. It is very acceptable, which is why I decided to trade my accuracy there a little bit for the turbocharger, because the turbocharger is going to give me a little bit more mobility. If you look at the speed of the Tiger 1, 40 kilometers an hour going forward and 12 going backward, it is really sluggish and slow. The speed is like a super heavy kind of speed. It is just not acceptable. I would rather trade a little bit of my accuracy for some mobility. Now 0.30 accuracy, like I said, is not too bad. As long as you're running food with it, you're gonna get 0.30 accuracy. It is not too bad. Now I'm sharing this spot here with the T-34-100. I wish I got that inside spot, which I don't have, so I am letting him have that spot. I don't want to layer over him and get myself damaged. Now he has overextended himself and taken a bit of damage, and he's backing off. So when I see him backing off, I'm going to take that spot if I can on the inside part of the windmill, where I can, you know, angle a little bit, give myself a little bit of bouncy here. But I take 2 shots of damage there, one from the VKP, one from the Tiger, so that is really bad. So I decide to Sidescrape instead. I'm gonna pen him easily here because I've switched to APCR shells now, because you know, when I need to do damage, when I need to be alpha, when I need to be the big boy here, I need to fire premium shells in order to make sure that I win this fight. Now what you see me doing here is blocking my cupola. You see me side scraping, but my Tiger 1 has a cupola, huge cupola on the left side of the turret. So what I'm doing here is using my gun to block the other Tiger 1 from shooting, having any kind of shot on my cupola. So I'm going to use my gun, point it to the left, I lock it with the right mouse button, and then once I've taken a bounce from the Tiger 1, then I poke out and try to shoot either the Tiger 1 or any other enemy here. I'm going to wait for his cupola if I can. He's not making it easy for me here, so I'm going to be patient here and take my time. There is another tank on my right there. You can see them duking it out just on the low ground of the hill here. I don't want to rush it, because when you're playing top tier in a heavy tank, you want to take your time. You see me there with the 0.33 dispersion, I hit the ground. So that's the problem with Tiger 2's the lack of accuracy here. You have to give a little to get a little. So I traded off the vertical stabilizer for the turbocharger, which get me into this position early and in a competitive position. So I gave up a little bit of accuracy, but you can see it's not too bad. I shot twice into the ground, but it is not too bad, even though I have a little bit worse accuracy, but I still managed to make those cupola shots, and you're going to see me make this shot here again, even though I'm not fully aimed. So do I recommend a turbocharger? Well, it depends on how you want to play the tank. For my style, I do, you know, in my channel here, I always talk about mobility, vision, and camouflage. Mobility is one of the tenets of this game. You really need to get a handle on mobility, which is exactly what I'm doing. I cherish mobility, I cherish vision, and I cherish camo, you know, view range and camouflage. So if I can get a bit of mobility, I'll take it. Now, saying that, if I had dispersion values of like 0.36, then I would not use the turbocharger. I would use the vertical stabilizer instead, because the vertical stabilizer is going to give me a lot better accuracy if I had, let's say, 0.36 dispersion on this tank. But 0.33 with food, I get it down to 0.30. It is acceptable, it is usable. I'm going to do that and stick with that. Now, I don't have a lot of HP left, but I have done 2.7k damage. I've blocked 1120, and I've got 476 spotting damage. The rest of my team are closing down the circle. It looks like we're going to win this game. We are up by 4 tanks, so I don't need to rush down and spot for myself and do damage for myself and get myself killed for no reason. When I was playing this game, normally what I would do is actually rush down and try and get the spotting for myself and probably get myself killed. But I thought to myself, you know, maybe this might be a good game that I could use for a video, so I decided to stay alive. But I would have totally rushed down and made an ass of myself, and I'd still have a good game, but I probably would have died. But I was conscious of trying to get a good game, a good result, a master ace tanker out of this game to make a video. So I decided to, since we are winning, we're not in a hurry, I'll let my team close the distance and do the spotting while I snipe from a distance and see if I can get my damage, you know, another 2-3 more shots before this game is ended. After all, there are 4 more tanks left on the game, and there you go, I got 1 shot out, which pushes my damage up to 3000. I decide not to shoot an SU-152, instead go for the damage. Now, what's the real difference between the old Tiger and the new Tiger? Remember I said no one is afraid of the Tiger? Well, that remains the same. The difference now is that when you're driving a Tiger, you don't have to be afraid of the enemy. You don't need to wait for your friends, you don't need to wait for support, and you can use this to your advantage. You know, people still think the Tiger is weak. They still think the Tiger does 240 damage, but you know that it does 280 damage, and you know, people think that, you know, you got lucky because you got a high roll every shot, more than 280 damage or whatever. But this is the Tiger that is the new Tiger, the buff Tiger. It is very competitive, it is very good. Is it better than a T29 or an ISM? That is still up in the air, it's still up for debate, but I think that you're going to have a lot of fun with the Tiger 1, and especially the Tiger 2. The Tiger 2 is definitely one you want to keep, so do watch out for that video. I will leave a link to that video up above, and I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good insight onto the Tiger line. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.